Hey everyone, this is Melvin from CODutility.com, and I'm here to do the third tutorial in the BlackOps 3 mapping and modding tutorials series that I'm doing for the BlackOps 3 modules. Now this video is going to have a few things in it. First off, we're going to update the first tutorial because there was some freezing in it around the 16-minute mark. I think when I was building the window, the camera froze, so I'm going to quickly rebuild the window in this one. I'm also going to recap it working with brushes a little bit while I do that. Then we're going to get on to patch detail blending. And what I mean by that is alpha blending. And then we're also going to go and apply some wall patches. And so the wall patches will help us give detail to areas like brick walls and stuff like that. And then if we have enough time, we're going to try and make a door. Now, if we don't get enough time, well, that's going to be all my fault, isn't it? So we better get to it. Okay, so the video update for tutorial 1 was basically some people had said that, let's switch this back to our scene here. If we're having issues with the window, as you can see, the mouse is flowing nicely. So let's get this going here. Okay, so when we take this wall here, as you can see in the 2D window, we're going to hit the 4 key again. That's on the 8 grid, and we're going to drag this down. And first off here, let's go to the 2D grid and see what we're looking at. We want to look at the side here where the units are. Surface Inspector, we can hide that so we get a little more space here. And so as we look at this here, we see we're at a 40, and that's 8 units. Sorry, that's 8 units plus 32 units would equal 40, obviously. So we're going to see here that this line here is the base of the floor, which is 8 units. So that's going to give us a 32 unit height. So that's perfect. We're going to hit Control C and Control V. We're going to drag this brush here up all the way to the top. Actually, not to the top. We're going to drag it right to the bottom here. We're going to then, outside of it, on top of it, sorry, we're going to left click and drag it up to the top. And we're going to move left click on the outside right side of it here and drag it to the left. And then we're going to Control C, Control V, and we're going to click on the widget here and move that to the right until it lines up. Okay, so now we've got our rough window opening. We want to hit Control C, Control V, and move that over and fill this space here. And as you can see, that's perfectly fit. Okay, now we can see what our window dimensions are. They're 64 units wide, 84 units tall to the very top. We don't need 84 units really, so we're going to go down a little bit. We'll go to 72. And then we're going to hit Control C, Control V, and go up again. Now we can take this and go all the way to the top. Now here's a trick, just like I showed you the CSG tool in the earlier videos, which should have come through, but just in case I haven't, we're going to go show you the CSG tool again. We're going to take this same brush here. We're going to hit the 2 key to bring it down to a 2 unit dimension. Sorry, we're going to take this one here actually. And we're going to take that and we're going to hit the CSG tool. And what that's going to do is going to knock out the frame for the window. And so we're going to just go above it. We're going to switch back to the 1 key, or switch down to the 1 key. Drag it at 1. Again, making sure you stay in the arrow in the fit space so nothing gets out of place. Then you come back down here again and drag it over, staying within the within that column. And as you see, we should have the edge of a window frame starting to come through. So what we can do now is just take this front piece, which was there, and delete that using the backspace. Select this one in here, delete that using backspace, and we should have now a window frame that's raised out. Now this, again, we can select this whole window frame like so. We can go and texture it like we did before, and then go inside, miter it, and change the corners like we did on the front of the door. But for now, I think what we're just going to do is we're just going to bring up the textures. We'll go down to the wood texture. I'm going to give that a quick turn over. Any wood textures do for now. This is just an example. Bring up the Surface Inspector with the S key. We're going to rotate. So we're going to hit Escape first, then select this brush, and then we're going to rotate it. This way we don't do it twice. Okay, so now we've got all our pieces in. Oh, looks like we have another couple textures that need to be rotated. So we're going to surface select these by Control Shift, left click. And again, Control Shift right click to rotate our camera. Control Shift left click to select the other texture. And we'll go back to Surface Inspector and we'll rotate that twice. For 90 degrees. So now we've got our window in there. It's looking good, but it's not perfect. As you can see, there's a little bit of overhang here. We're going to select this. We're going to go back to the 2D window. And we're just going to bring this down. You can stay on the 1 grid. It doesn't matter as long as we're careful. Okay, and then we're going to go and deselect that. We're going to select the one at the bottom on the 2D window, and we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to bring it back in and bring this back in. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to quickly hide this brush and this brush by left shift left click to select, then hit H to hide, and then we're going to go back to these brushes here, and we're going to Control Shift left click to select just the surfaces on the outside edges. There we go, pan down to these ones here. Control Shift left click again. Control Shift left click again. Right now I'm Control and right click to pan. Just in case you guys didn't get that. Control Shift right click to rotate, and just right click mouse to move. Okay, so we're going to take those and we're going to go to the texture panel here. I'm going to go up to the caulking texture, double click on that. That's going to fill in the caulking. And then we're going to take, we're going to hit Shift H to unhide the other two. Okay, now we're going to select the ones we just had. We're going to hide those ones. Actually, we don't actually need to do that, never mind. We can go right to the top here and just select the edges across all four. I know this might seem tedious, but it is a good practice. At least in the beginning when you first start doing this stuff, till you know how everything works. The more tighter your original geography or geometry is, topography, geography, whatever you want to call it, but your map, the more solid that structure is, the more well designed it is, the better off you'll be down the road. Okay, so we're going to take these, we're going to hit the caulking texture again. Now we're just going to go back into the 2D window. This is the easy part right here. We're just going to line it up so it's all looking at us from the front. And we're just going to select the top brush. I'm going to select the bottom brush. And we can do these both at the same time and just select this over 2 units. Again, we're working on the 1 grid right now. We can be working on the 2 grid if we want. It doesn't matter, but you have to stay at least the 1 or the 2 or the 0.5 or the 0.25, which is 0.3, you know, labeled at the bottom here. You can always see the grid number there. But yeah, if staying in this makes it quite easy to just pop these shapes in. And again, hit the E key to bring up your blue dots. Sorry, just trying to get this done. I'm kind of getting a little tired tonight. But yeah, so this is simply put, not it's not hard. It's just a matter of learning it. Okay, so there you go. There you got the window now. You see, and that is a excuse me. Still getting over something. That is a playable space. That is a where you can jump over this window, no problem. A mantleable, or is completely able to be mantled, if that makes any sense. Mantling is, I guess, what you would call the setup you use to climb windows, walk walls, stuff like that. Okay, so anyways, that's I guess done for now. What else do we have here? Let's see here. Okay, where are we? Sorry, I'm losing track of myself here. Okay, so we rebuilt the window. Now we're going to do a patch for, or a patch detail, sorry. So we're going to take, real quick, we're going to left shift, select this here. And we're going to go down to the top view and switch to our 4 key, which is the 8 unit grid. And then we're going to bring this here out. Is that the right? No, hold on. Control C, Control V, and then left click on it in the 2D grid. Drag it out anywhere, really. Okay, and then we're going to go back up to here. We're going to go patch terrain, simple terrain patch. And we're going to go by 5 by 5. This will way it lines up to the grid. The larger size grid, I should say. These lines here. Anyways, as you can see here, by moving a 1 down unit, now we're completely each square. It's like 1 square on here. And the more you do that, the easier it is again to organize your map. Okay, so we're going to take this texture here and we're going to go to the textures tool. And you'll notice there's some textures that are regularly named. Okay, let's go to, like, say, brick, for example. Oh, did I go to the wrong one? Sorry, bad. Textures, all, click on brick, or type in brick. Okay, so once you have brick here, you'll see got a bunch of different textures here. So you've got this one here, which is brick wall, moss, 01, brick wall, and it's got whatever, and this has got a bit of a reveal. So the idea would be, if you can use textures like this, you're better off, because you don't have to create a texture set, but you can, and what I've done quite a bit, is you select this texture, say, and then what we're going to do here in the top here, we're also going to search for blend, B-L-E-N-D, and this is going to give us a bunch of blend textures that we can use to wipe into the other texture. And so we're going to take this texture here, and we're going to go Control C, Control V. And so if you right click on it, you'll see there's 2 lists here. And we're going to go down here and we're just going to find something we can blend onto this here. So let's, yeah, that works, I think. Is it? That will work. Okay, so we're going to, you see here now the other texture's covered. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hit the Y key. And that's going to bring up a advanced patch editor. And as you can see here, you see all these dots. Now what you have to do is you have to basically go into, let's actually put the surface inspector away. And let's drag this one over here so you can see the whole thing. To alpha blend, you need to, and you can control heights of patch with it too. You can kind of sculpt it, kind of like UE4's tool or UDK's tool. But basically what this allows you to do is using the alpha blend, you use flatten and the Alt button, holding down Alt and left clicking, you can take away from the patch that's there so that it shows through, and using the right mouse button, you can bring it back. Okay, so you can control this in varying degrees. As you see here up here on the amplitude, you can go way down so that when you take it away, it barely moves it. Like, I mean, we're talking barely touches it, you see? And you have to go over it and go over it and go over it, going over the other verts just to get it to come through. Whereas if it's up here, it's an instant thing, right? So you have to play with that and get used to it. But it gives you an idea. You can make some really cool stuff. You can come in here and just kind of like dither a little bit of dirt and detail onto what would be otherwise something maybe a little plain. Okay, so by clicking on it with your mouse, just a couple taps of the mouse. I don't know if you guys can hear that mouse tapping. And some movement, you can get an interesting pattern, you know? Whereas you see here, some is barely shining through and some is coming through. Now this is a terrible example of what textures to use because it's a carpet over top of a bunch of bricks. But it gives you the example of what needs to be done. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're going to go and look at, we're going to put this example to work. Okay, so what we're going to do a quick way to detail patches, and you can do it with the advanced patch editing tools, which is the Y key for hotkey, put it away, pick it back up. The filters key is the, as you see there, the filters manager is the F key, we can put that away. We'll leave the entity browser up for now because I do like to have that available at any given time. And we're going to go and switch back to our top-down view. Now, I'm going to hit escape. We're going to leave that patch there for now. You can see it's good to go. Okay, so we're going to come back over here, and what we're going to do here is an easy way to do this. You can use that, again, the advanced patch editing tool options if you want to. But what I find is what I find to be the easiest, really, when doing this kind of stuff is just to, if I want to add some sort of detail to brick, I would Control-Shift, left-click, collecting the surface of the patch, say all three of these if I wanted, and I would come up to here and go Patch, Terrain, and come to Faces to Terrain. And what that does is put a patch right over top of the brick. Now I can come back to my textures, where I've already got my blend selected to show you guys an example, and I can take the blue carpet. Well, let's try something a little bit different here. Let's see if we got some dirt. Okay, Decal Grunge Calcium. That actually works really well. As you can see through it already. Okay, so we're going to hit the V key. And you see the verts now. This is vertical, so blending doesn't work well vertically. Your best bet is to use what you call the G Vertex Color and Alpha Editing tab. And what you do is, again, like you would in any other vert selection, you drag left click over the verts you want to use. Click them. Make sure you select Alpha at the bottom here. And then just bring this down like so. And you can bring those verts down quite a bit, right? So if you don't want this to be so much of a loss, like as in all over the texture, what you can do is, again, go back to what we talked about yesterday, which is left drag these verts, Control-Shift-A, that will put another row of verts there, and then take this one here, and take only the top one, Control-Shift-A, you got another set of row of verts there, and you can select this one here, you can actually come in here, and just dither up this piece here a bit, and then maybe come in here, and bring it, you know, darker in a sense. So you can see, like, you can control it quite a bit. Okay, so that gives you that one. And lastly, but not leastly, let's make a door. I think that's what I said I would do in this one. Let's check Photoshop. It tells us. We're applying a wall patches and making a door. Okay, so we're almost done. This one actually 15 minutes. We're going to get quicker on these ones as we go. So let's do a door real quick. So for a door, we're going to do the same thing we did before. We're going to Control-Shift select this here. Sorry, no, not that one. So we're left shift and left click to select the patch over top of the brush, and we're going to hide that with H. And we're going to select this brush here, and we're going to go Control C, Control V, switching to the 4 grid unit, number 4 unit, or sorry, number 4 key, 8 grid unit. We're going to, or 8 unit grid. We're going to, I'm messing up my words. Okay, on an 8 grid unit, we're going to be moving this door down, matching it up and dragging it out so that it fits the area. Okay, then we're also going to come here and look at it from the side. We're going to come back here to the XY top, get right over top of that door, and as you can see, we're going to hit the 2 button. And that's going to bring this in 1. We're going to bring it from the bottom 1, and that's left clicking outside of it, pushing to up, and then left clicking at the top and pushing down to sink it in a bit. We're also going to sink it in 1 from the side and 1 from the other side. And this will give us the inside of a door. As you can see, we're still a little bit above, so we're going to cheat in the 3D window and just bring it down 1. You got to be subtle with that movement at the top there. Okay, so with this here, we can actually take this big brush here, and we can hit the 4 key to bring it back to the 8 grid unit, or 8 unit grid, and drag it back 1. And so now the walls, as you see inside, they still meet up. They're so flush, but we have a door. Okay, so this door here, well, what can we do with this door? You know, it's pretty plain. We can use for textures. You know, we can see if there's a texture in here by checking doors. Door. We've got a lot of different things. We can make a metal door. Oh, there we go. Let's try that one. So there we go. We can take the S key and we can hit the set button, and that will set the door to the texture. Now, what will happen with this door is if you were to rotate this, left shift, left click, hit the R key, rotate this a little bit, you'll see that the door texture's in there. So what I would do is hit escape, go to your textures again, make sure it's all in use, and you'll see that if you remove the door from the search bar, you will be able to find the wood texture we used before. Click that, make sure it's selected, so you'll see the little blue dotted line, Control Shift, middle mouse on here, the top, the bottom, and then just rotate these as needed. Now again, this is on an angle, so the rotation won't be perfect, but I would do this always on the squares. Like it's usually only if will affect the top and the bottom. You see how that laid in there kind of off. So you can again just you know, play with it till you get it right. And you can also change these numbers here, so that's actually a good idea. So we can go to a 5 here, and we can go down a little bit more till it's oh, I'm sorry, up. Come on. Almost there. That will do. Okay, so you can see how a door can be textured. Grab this here, rotate this back, and yeah, we've got our door. Okay, so for now that's it. This is the video tutorial number 3. We're going to pick up speed a little bit more as we go when we make a roof, get into a little bit more advanced patch brushwork and things like maybe making an electrical pole. People seen the street lamp that I made, and all of the brushwork and stuff like that. So we're going to try and recreate something like that again, and show you guys how to use things like curve patches and primitives, which are really, really useful for detailing a map. Okay, till next time, we will see you again. Have a good one, everyone. Peace.